Welcome everyone to episode one. Yep, episode one of the legal field and Parkinson's disease, hosted by me. That's me. Hosted by George Ackerman, Esquire. I'm an attorney, and really today's purpose is the show, our show, new show is only for educational, informational purposes. Please contact your local jurisdiction for bar associated attorney that's licensed. That's very important. So this is just for educational. I'm not giving legal advice. The legal field and PD will bring awareness to the Parkinson's community on important legal topics. Hopefully we'll have some guests, people with Parkinson's affected by laws, and so much more information. Today I wanted to share an important topic. We'll start with, it's not an easy one, and we're going to tackle some tougher topics, and that's going to be on advanced directives. So a lot of individuals might not be aware of what it is. We'll talk about that. I'm going to also include a lot of links and areas to help you understand it. I'm also going to share these links in the notes, so feel free to download them and review them. I'll also cite and thank everyone who has, who I referenced. So first we'll start with the Hopkins Medicine Hospital. They're incredible, and really the definition. So advanced directive has several sections which allow specific health care directions to be given or to appoint others to make decisions if needed. So things like a will, power of attorney, healthcare, those are three of the big ones. We'll probably have a show on each of those. I was unfortunately a caregiver, which isn't the unfortunate part, but I lost my mother, as many of you know, due to Parkinson's disease. She had it for 15 years, but the last 4 years, and then the final year was the roughest. Even today, 5 years later, today in 2025, I'm in shock as to why it progressed so quickly, but it did. And one thing I am grateful for is my mother really did work with me and allow me to be there for her. That was very important. So if I wasn't able to do these things, I had a little knowledge. Not this is not my main area, end of life things and wills, but you know you don't have to be at the end of life to have a will. So when we get to the show on wills, we'll talk about that. But advanced directives are very important. There's a lot of training for lawyers if you're going to be bar certified, or even if it's offered, to understand much more in depth on the law and advanced care planning. So a lot of this is, again, about planning. Advanced directives under the American Bar Association, another great resource for the law, mainly for attorneys, but everyone out there in your community can also review this and understand. So instructions and guidance documented in an advanced directive should be a result from the process of information sharing, reflection, discussion, and communication, and provide enough flexibility in application to allow surrogate decision makers to respond to new circumstances and complexities. None of this is something that is easy. These are going to be tough topics, but they are topics that will, join together and try to work together on. Feel free to send any questions, share this show, and if you have any topics or guests that you'd like to see on the show, feel free to also share that. Again, we'll have a whole show in the future on living wills, but it's important to understand how to create advanced directives. Each state, again, very important. All these shows, each state is very different. That's very, very, very important. I'll give you a moment now to review this. So here, each state again has different forms and creation. There's a lot of legal uh, jargon and things background that you need to know. But depending on where you live, form will likely need to be signed by a witness and notarized. Lawyers can assist, of course, but not always necessary. I know I even had an attorney for my mother, even though I was an attorney. There's also important resources out there, like I mentioned, the ABA, and I'm going to share a resource from the National Hospice and Palliative Care Organization. You always want to do specific things, which is keep originals. So anything you sign like a will, make sure you always have the original copy. Give one, provide to your doctor and your healthcare agent if you have one. Keep a record of who has it. So if an emergency does occur, you'll be able to, that individual will be aware of what's going on. Very, very important to talk to your family members and make sure everybody knows your wishes, and carry a wallet-sized card, which we didn't have, but it's a great idea, so that these can be easily found, and keep it with you while you're traveling. We also have, as you all know, some of you might be affiliated. I'm a volunteer with some incredible organizations out there who do provide some excellent resources like the Parkinson's Foundation. Again, I'll share this link. It's very important to understand your rights. You can even subscribe also to the Parkinson's Foundation. Sources of rights, we're going to get into a lot of these topics too, much more in depth, and disabilities with ADA. Americans with Disabilities. Also, the American Parkinson's Disease Association also provides some financial and legal issues website and page that you can discuss. Even here, they touch on early onset. And there's a lot of individuals, whether you're elderly, young, different, doesn't matter the age, that really need to start thinking about budgeting, finance, and a lot of these tough topics sometimes, but others are not that tough. Having a will and a trust is not something that, has to be a tough topic. It can be something that's, kind of simple and easy to discuss, but if you're not prepared, then it's going to get much more tougher, not just for the individual, but the family. A lot of research here is the American Academy of Neurology, article I researched about advanced care planning. Very, very important. It was a study done, different questions on how patients and care partners perceive these types of areas, like advanced care planning and those who have Parkinson's disease. So I'll include this type of research. Some of the conclusions were that might be influence of patient and caregiver perceptions and misperceptions and symptoms, as well as different types of clinical care. So it's very important that we're having this discussion because I think that you can plan, prepare, and really understand your own rights, and then no one can ever take those from you. Stanford Medicine, another incredible organization, medicine, healthcare. They have an outreach also website, and this one I like because it can send you. I'll share this link to so many different areas, such as the National Institute on Aging, who hopefully will have on the show, AARP, Michael J. Fox Foundation, American Bar Association, many others that are out there to help assist you, like the Davis Finney Foundation, not just the Parkinson's organization, but also others like UT Health, NPR, many, many organizations out there that will help you and research that might guide you. One thing I did want to also point out is the Davis Finney has a really in-depth look at advanced directives. So I recommend you visit their incredible organization and see, they even have a worksheet I noticed, and here's a little image. Again, everything we use here is references available online. This is for educational and informational purposes only, but you'll see different steps, shows you can even measure, letting nature take its course, preserving quality of life, all very important issues when talking about end of life topics. And those are, again, some of the other areas that we'll be concentrating on. Advanced care directives, all these topics we discussed today are very critical and important, not just for the individual, again, I mentioned that earlier, but also for the family. In my experience with my mother, I mean, I'm not that, I'm getting up in age, but I'm not that old, and I already have a will. I already have a estate plan. I have a trust in case something happened to me. It'll still be able to really be directed through advanced directives to my wife, to my children. So it'll give them a little less stress because obviously that time will be very tough for everyone involved, and sad uh, if someone is sick, critically ill, or passes. You don't really want your family to now try to also have to deal with fumbling with paperwork, not knowing what a will is, where it is, how it is, or if it ever even existed. So again, this has been an important conversation on advanced directives. Please send me feedback if you enjoyed it. If you have a topic of discussion, next time I'll probably focus more on general the law, because I think that before we even really get to these topics, it's important to understand the law. This is not really, I'm not teaching, I'm a professor of law, but I'm not here to teach. I'm just here to assist and also learn from you all. So thanks for joining me in court today. Attorney George Ackerman. Really, the only purpose of these shows is going to be, and these videos is going to be for the legal field and Parkinson's disease. This has been episode 1, actually episode 2, Advanced Directives. Hopefully you can also check out intro, episode 1. Here we'll discuss the legal field, the PD, and bring awareness to the Parkinson's community on important legal topics, including advanced directives, which is what we covered today. Hopefully, again, we'll have some guests, could be attorneys, people with Parkinson's affected by laws on a daily basis at employment or the home, also by US laws and so much more. And finally, as I started the disclaimer, I'll repeat it. The show and videos are only for educational and informational purposes. For legal advice, please contact your local attorney in your jurisdiction. I am a certified attorney and bar certified in Florida and DC, but I'm not here to give legal advice. I'm just here to help inform everyone out there that you do have rights, and just make sure, please, that you're aware of them. And that's the goal of the show. So thanks again, everyone, for joining us. Please stay tuned. So much more to come. And I hope you'll see you at the next courthouse, but really, again, just for some educational and information, not that, not for any legal, literal reasons. So thanks again, everyone. See you soon.